You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's time for us to look at the newspaper front pages. You know what this means. This gives our esteemed viewers the opportunity to call in and share their thoughts on any one of the big stories we share with you. It's your turn to interact with us. Just follow the numbers on your screen. And joining us this morning is Public Affairs Analyst, Mr. Theophilus Akatugba. He will be joining us to dissect,
Good morning.
and also
and it's a pleasure to be here.
The front pages of the newspaper.
I don't know.
When I say eat, I don't mean like
physical eating.
Eating,
the spiritual eating.
Yeah. But some people eat it with the suya. They say it makes it tasty.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Until you eat it with your CV, then you understand that
it's your degree.
Yeah, your degree.
You're welcome, Mr. Akatugba, on this very special day where we're on the cusp of greatness. We're either going to the World Cup or not. Today is decision day. Woo. And you know, football is a second religion in Nigeria. And
for some, it's actually their first.
Yes.
I think my hope and my prayer is that the Super Eagles play to their superness and win and sustain the winning spree and qualify. In fact, for Nigeria not to go to the World Cup is incomplete for Africa. You know, it is like Brazil not being in the World Cup. That's how I see it. And so Nigeria need to rise and demonstrate that.
And we missed the last World Cup.
Giant of African, you know, toga that we carry. We have no reason.
Are we motivated enough? Do we have the players?
You know, I was close to the team in Ghana. I went to Secondary to watch them. And that was when I lost interest in supporting the Super Eagles, not because of any reason. First, they lost that match, and I observed that the players were housed in a low-quality part of the hotel, and the officials were in the VIP part. And so when I saw that, I immediately understood why it is it is actually too much of expectation to expect the team to perform. Because the people that we played the match were housed in low-quality residences, beaten by mosquitoes, and the officials were housed in air-conditioned part of the hotel. And that tells you that if that is the way it is done, in fact, the players were carried in low-quality transport system, and the officials had VIP rides.
I mean, that professional football
was when I pulled back and said, no, if I give my support because of patriotism, I'll be broken-hearted again and again. So I drove back from Secondary after we lost the match to Mali. I was sad. Then I started managing my expectations. But today, I want to wish them well. And I hope they started putting them in the best part of the hotel.
We serve breakfast the hard way.
The hard way, tough breakfast.
Now let's start with the Punch newspaper. The headline there says, opposition splits over National Assembly poll shift plan. The National Assembly is proposing a bill to move presidential governorship polls to November 2026. Is that not too early? PDP and NPP allege tenure extension plot. ADC LP differ. I guess we have to read the newspaper.
Well,
to get
I missed this news, but I'm looking at election takes place around March, right? February.
Yeah.
And the swearing is in May.
Yeah.
I think they are trying to do this to ensure that litigations are completed before the swearing. I think so, because there's a lot of pressure. If there for any reason there's postponement, if other put pressure on the processes that leads to the swearing. And I can see that if this is allowed, there will be enough time for all election disputes and litigations to be resolved. And the pressure will be less. Even if there's going to be a postponement, there will be enough 90 days to postpone and do whatever we need to do. That is my thought. But of course, you've seen already misreactions, and everyone will keep saying, but we need enough time before swearing in, I believe so, to ensure that there will be no excuse for you to swear in someone who is still in court trying to validate his victory.
Absolutely. There's also the headline there, Makinde warns Wike camp against stopping PDP convention. In whose interest will this be, and why are those in Wike's camp?
It's unfortunate that the PDP crisis is not abating. Every time they speak, they stoke in more fire, more petrol or whatever into the fire. So this is also signs of the health status of the PDP. Because we thought that at this time they should have smoothed out their differences and moving towards.
But it's the FCT minister playing a spoiler role.
But it's been known. He has promised that that's what he's going to do. He didn't. It's not.
But why do they seem helpless? Can't they?
They are helpless because they have sold out a long time. They are not. You know, when you form a party on the back of money bags, PDP had practiced this money bag syndrome. The man that has the purse is the leader, dictates the tune. The party did not organize itself so that even the money bags do not control the workings of the party. So you didn't have very eminent leaders of that party that came forward. Even the leaders of the party then followed the bandwagon. So there was a time Port Harcourt was the headquarters of the PDP. And you had the time of, which is there was a time everybody migrated to Port Harcourt. They even went there to do a primary that you saw what happened there. It was heavily dollarized. PDP need to go through the regeneration, and I hope they will, and do it in time before the next election.
ASU strike grounds varsities. Federal government clamps down. They're saying they would implement a no work, no pay policy. This is a 2-week warning strike, and it's almost like since time immemorial. It's one of those items that will be in the news. ASU strike. What does this say about the future of education, tertiary education in Nigeria? And is this still the 2009 agreement, or there are deeper structural problems with tertiary education in Nigeria? Because why can't they? This has gone through administration after administration, so it's not a Tinubu administration problem. It's been there for years. I thought
President Tinubu will not be stoned with this regular stick that comes to every president.
Yes, you must.
We're no longer talking about the strike. We're now using the duration of the strike. To say I did better than you.
Because it's almost certain
that there will be a strike in your time. Yeah. Now, what is this? Nigeria has lost the biggest opportunity ever to, first of all, market our country, and secondly, generate revenue. A country that is well blessed with academics, including tertiary institutions in the number that we have them. Such a country is not able to attract relevant studentship from the rest of the world the way we used to do. I went to Gambia. Many of them testified they went to school in Nigeria. You go abroad, people came here. But today, the reverse is the case. Many universities are shopping for Nigerian students. And the easiest excuse is that you are not guaranteed graduation once you sign into any university.
Yeah.
And so, because the public universities are bedeviled by constant strikes, and the private universities that came in to try to fill the gap made it a bit more expensive for citizens to afford. Look at it. You go to Ghana, you go to Malawi, they are boastful of the stability of their educational system. Yes. And this strike, they call it a warning strike. Government need to do something quickly.
You get admission in the University of Legon today. You can guarantee that.
That's by the next 4 years you will
graduate. My children went to school there. My daughter, I have 2 daughters that graduated from Legon, and another one from IPSA. And timely, there was no disruption. I feel that the problems, first of all, I told you that Nigeria is in the business of incubating poverty. That is what we've been doing. We've not reversed that situation yet.
Oh, man.
We pay people peanuts and we expect them not to be corrupt. We are not paying any wages that will not encourage corruption. And that has been what we have been doing. The universities are poor, the lecturers are poorly paid. My thought was that with the student loan, the universities will be given autonomy, to charge the fees they want to charge and pay their lecturers well. That is what I thought.
University education beyond the reach.
No, not beyond, but government will give you loans. Because you can't run, government cannot afford to run the universities and pay these lecturers the wages that will sustain them.
And keep the universities globally competitive.
No, it's not possible. That's why Nigerians, we think we can use peanut to achieve great goals. We're just deceiving ourselves. And we have deceived ourselves for so long. Now that...
Or have we put so much emphasis on university education? Because to be successful in life, you don't have to.
Where we put a lot of emphasis because we didn't pursue polytechnic education. We thought we at Polytechnic became universities of some sort.
I agree.
Offering courses that are not technical in nature. So we
and then maybe technical colleges too were not amplified. It was
Absolutely.
just it was seen as something that was for our parents.
In fact, if for those who never do well,
means who never do well. Unfortunately, the ones who went to those technical schools, those who went to university are now reversing to the technical schools now, because you have a lady who learned how to bake and make cake. She's making more figures than you with a white collar. It's just a perception.
And the white collar jobs were not. They disappeared.
It's perception,
it's a perception.
We missed it when we went to 6334.
Yeah,
that was when we got it. If we had done it right the way Japan did and others, we would have created a hub of artisans that Nigeria would be exporting these artisans to Benin, Togo. Today, Togolese and Ghanaians are better electricians, they are better technicians because they held down their technical education. So we have, the problem with us is that the template comes to us and we trade with it.
We always do that.
You always trade with it.
So now, if the government decides, okay, I want to shut you people up, because at the end of the day, if you look at they say the devil is in the details. It's okay, you promised us this allowance, money. It's all about the Benjamins, as they will say, it's money.
Yeah.
So if you throw this money at them, would the problems disappear?
The universities are ready to do good if they are well motivated. But the cost of motivating them, the government cannot afford it.
And this
is why all governments have never resolved it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely impossible for government to fund the universities in the manner that we want to get what we need to get from it. That's why I call on ASU to be creative. Because ASU, you are the creator, you are the designer.
How about the university senate itself? You have endowment funds. You can also leverage cost of international students, make it marketable, because we are the ones that take you go to University of College of London, for example, and the big universities across the world. It's international students that basically fund.
They do, but you have not attracted them. What do you have to attract an international student to Nigeria?
I mean,
those days they used to come.
They come because
I'm sorry for the St. Lucians that were given scholarship.
Did they come?
Maybe someone.
No, they have been given the scholarship politically. Is it an attractive option? If a St. Lucian is given the opportunity to go to Ghana and Nigeria, and they're looking at strikes and recurrent strikes, so we have to, if we do well, it's a gold mine. It's something that Nigeria can use to attract foreign exchange and also students that will sell Nigeria positively.
Tourism.
Sell Nigeria positively. Because having gone to school in Nigeria, you will always say it to be in your CV, and people will ask you about Nigeria.
Yeah.
You were there for 4 years, then you will say, it's a beautiful country, I live in there, I studied there, great people. But if you don't have these testimonies, the loud cry of Nigerian negative is what is mostly found in the media.
Absolutely. Okay. Joe, like you said, they will ask the solutions. How come you know come?
I did not say that. That's you. Anyway, let's look at one big story. We have an ad break in the next 3 minutes, but we'll start touching on that story now. The Punch seems to be loaded, very loaded. Slain husband's family slams Tinubu's pardon for Mary and Sanda. What's your take on the names and the list of those who received clemency from the president? What's your stand?
It's not easy to be a president. And it's very difficult that you will get there, come out there without your name stained. There is a spirited effort. So, this pardon is going to be a negative slant on his record. Because that committee that recommended this, I hope they are not trading again. Because some of these things look like purchased.
Yeah, the kidnapper.
Because the names and because this is a blow to the psychic of law enforcement. Because
I did mention it, NDLEA,
yes,
most especially.
What Buba is doing, putting people in prison and you give them clemency, on what ground? What is the basis?
They said good behavior.
The ground, they said good behavior, they turned around, they learned a skill.
And okay, these people.
That three. Good behavior,
so this is what,
turned around,
this is what it
skill.
takes to be free of punishment for crime you've committed against people who are still grieving. Please, I think that the president has the prerogative of mercy, but the usage of it is being very, very questionable all over the world. We saw Joe Biden did the same thing. So we've seen Donald Trump doing it. Everywhere in the world, presidents are using it wrongly. The intention is right, but the use is wrong.
You just said something now. We had the special advisor to the president, and you just said something now that some presidents are using it wrongly. Take, for instance, Joe Biden. Yes. But the guest who joined us yesterday was alluding to what the president in America did as a reason to laud what President Tinubu did. And for reasons best known to us as journalists, not wanting to, because the conversation was starting to lead like it wanted to be an argument, especially when we asked him a key question that, did the president really look at this list and approve it, or was it that he trusted a group of people to go through it, the committee, and just approve? And he got angry and said, why are we asking that kind of question?
But that is it. Because the people who recommended the list are complicit.
That's it.
Somebody pays somebody. And I make bold to say that in this country that we live in, it's a heavy lobby, and being in that committee appeared to be an opportunity to make something.
You won't put it beyond them?
No. Because he did recommend it.
That's it.
And I don't think the president will have the state of mind, the presence of mind, to read through and question every name on
175.
And the fact that they put some big names to placate us, and they loaded it with why do you a woman that killed her husband just
Miriam Sanda.
Yes. So she's turned a new leaf. Except the family
has spoken out. They've spoken out.
You see?
They spoke out yesterday. They vehemently opposed the pardon.
Let me try and get that their statement. They put out a statement yesterday, and they said the president just unearthed a wound that was looking like it was going to heal. And the president just opened the wound all over again, especially with this new presidential pardon. That it's not going well with them, they actually said. And for a family who lost their son
in that manner,
and she was found guilty. It's not a case of, and she was sentenced to death.
Yeah.
The governor did not carry out that sentence. But all of a sudden, let me read it out. It says the family of the late Biliaminu Ahmed Bello has strongly condemned the recent presidential pardon granted to Miriam Sanda, describing it as an act that has reopened our healing wounds and delivered the worst possible injustice.
Absolutely.
The family's reaction was contained in a statement signed by Dr. Bello Haliru Mohammed, OFR, on behalf of the late Biliaminu's relatives. The statement came shortly after Sanda's name appeared on the list of 175 inmates granted clemency under the federal government's prerogative of mercy. Now, take note. I just want to highlight, I'd like a reaction to this. The word prerogative of mercy. Prerogative, meaning, in other words, the most important, discretion, the top, the highest. You've taken a look at the list and said, this is... So someone who equally was rendered to be a kidnapper is also on that list.
Can you imagine that?
Who the people that testified against him are still in society. And there's also the problem of revenge. He might just come after those that
what has happened, I believe, and I want to call on the president to take a second look at this decision. We live in a country where kidnapping is a big issue.
Big business.
What message are you sending?
We live in a country where drug has permeated every facet of society, damaged many youths, and people are in the business big time. And don't forget also your opposition think that your name has been dragged in matters like that. And for you to do that wholesale to drug 40% peddlers, they will think that you are helping a constituency that you have soft spot for. So I am speaking to the president, whom I love, without repentance. I love him, but this is a mistake. They need to do something because it's a mistake, and it hurts me for people to have flourished in crime and simply get a wave of the pen. Therefore, if I have not done crime to flourish, I regret not to have done crime.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's the message it's sending.
That's the message.
Okay, Mr. Akatugba, just hold your thoughts for a bit. We'll go on a quick commercial break, and when we come back, please call in. We'd like to hear your thoughts on some of the stories we've shared this morning and the newspaper headlines. You stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I do understand that our phone lines has been configured and set, so please feel free to call. The number is right there on the screen. Let's get your thoughts on the presidential pardon. What do you make of it? Our in-house guest, Mr. Theophilus Akatugba, public affairs analyst, has shared his thoughts, and we'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Okay, so let's do that. In the meantime, let's move to another newspaper very quickly. Let's go to the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper has at the top there, Qatar backs First Lady's plan for out-of-school children. Qatar
Yeah, the
backs
nation of
First
Qatar.
Ladies.
And the First Lady was also in the Qatar National Library, so to get inspiration, you know, she did do a birthday
Yes.
call
Yeah,
for action, for donations, and they've realized billions of naira for that. She's taken it upon herself to build the National Library. Positive step, but people are saying that, you know, the government should be responsible for that. So
it pretty much seems like the office of the First Lady is here to stay. And it means that in the future, what we're seeing here, first of all, is it constitutional? But while we're putting our hands, plaudits for the First Lady for carrying out her works, usually we used to see these kind of things happen behind the scene, where the First Lady of a president will carry out, remember the likes of Mary and Babangida and the likes who carried out their works. It seemed more like a CSR and so on. But now it seems like it's official. While the president is working, the First Lady is working. The First Lady is getting donations, remittances being given to her. And then you're wondering, okay, what's really going on? I don't know.
Well, this First Lady has magnified that office in a manner that is almost, it has become a very powerful and very visible institution. I commend her for that, because she has also managed and worked within the regulations and the law, the Constitution, announcing always that it's not government money. These are free will donations that I'm using for my cause, for these causes that I do. And also, you know, she's a politician and a senator. So a vocal nature.
Yeah, so you expect her to be very active.
So she's quite active in the sense that she's in the front of the political game, not at the back of it. And she also has a husband that is quite open to her being vocal. You know, Miriam Buhari's wife had a lot of challenges. She wanted to do something, but the husband kept saying she needed to be silent and be behind the scene. That was quite difficult. She wanted something more.
Conservative.
She wanted something more, but the husband was overridingly too conservative.
Yeah, so she belongs to the kitchen. It's the other room.
So that's the orientation of the former president. But this one is different, and I do not know why we have not institutionalized the office of the vice president, office of the first lady. I don't know why. Are we borrowing anything from any country? Where are we drawing strength from Britain? Because even in the US, Melania just announced secret negotiations that she did in order to get some children released from prison. And so from Russia, I think, back to Ukraine. It means that office seems to be even as active as the Nigerian one. But in the US, I didn't see pet project. I don't know if she has a pet project. But she's also involved in diplomatic moves and coming to the public to say, this is what I'm doing. And she also writes books and all of that. So I think we should utilize.
But some would say it's kind of like a duplicity of
she's not
duties.
Elected.
I mean, she's not an elected member.
And
Secondly,
we have a Ministry of Women.
Exactly. And that maybe she would have headed the ministry, although that would be the first that we've seen.
I mean, in Uganda,
And then-
the first lady of Uganda is a
It's-
sports minister.
Yes, it's a sports minister as well, yes. And then you also have in other countries, the president's son is also acting as a vice president
In Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah.
and he's likely the next successor. Obviously, like many have said. So,
these are quite unique
Yeah,
circumstances, but I think what we have in Nigeria so far, the way we have run it, is commendable, and we've kept to the rule. Abuse are possible, but for this first lady, we must commend her effort. She's not even just doing pet projects; she's trying to intervene at national levels.
Yeah.
by
Now we're
coming
seing
with
something
library.
that
But the
we've never
criticism of the
witnessed in
first
the
lady, I think,
history-
was misplaced. It's not necessary.
I'm still talking about the first family. We're witnessing something unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. We've never seen first son has been in so much in the public glare.
Yeah.
He travels with his father on Nigeria's taxpayers' monies. There's no official capacity for what we're for his position, and he sits in meetings with senior government officials. I do understand that. I mean, Baron Trump. Sometimes your family travels with the head of state. Obama's daughters used to travel with him, but we're seeing something in different capacity, and it sends a dangerous signal. Just today, NIMSI, the National Identity Management Company, put up an advertorial on its Twitter page, wishing the first son a happy birthday. This is a private citizen. When I celebrated my birthday, they didn't put anything up for me. So where do we draw the line between, psychophancy and official?
because it's basically like, I mean,
And then another group
on,
is
go on.
donating 1 million Bibles to celebrate his 40th.
well, I think that's rumor. Is it true?
First, what I know is that there are phases in life, and this president has a son that is politically active. The ones we mentioned in the past, Donald Trump has children that are politically active and they are involved in his government.
And I don't think Donald Trump should be used as yardstick.
No, I'm not using. I'm
Yeah,
saying
okay.
that our country should not diminish capacities because your father has become president. It shouldn't be. We have an attitude of trying to make sure that because your father has become president, no one else should enjoy or benefit from the privileges that are available. And we get too much to the law. It's hurting our nation. Sometimes you have a relative in a company, they just want you to avoid that place. You can't go there to seek contract because your son name and the person's son name are the same. Those type of things is what I call the greatest hypocrisy of life, because the wrong that you are trying to prevent do occur behind the scene. So why don't you want this young man to also leverage upon the privileges he has, so long as he has not done anything that is absolutely against the law?
Then
For
make it
example,
official.
the
Then
NIMSI
make it
people,
official.
they have used public funds to wish a private citizen birthday.
Exactly.
So whoever is in charge of auditing the accounts, you check them out. Why did you spend this money for this frivolous cause? That question needs to be asked, because maybe he was appointed due to the instrumentation of recommendation of the son.
You can do that in private capacity.
That is correct. I
that's
agree with
private
you.
capacity.
So for that, they need to be questioned. It's not something the president can just get involved.
And I think one thing Nigerians need to understand is, because sometimes when we talk about these things, it's often referred to as maybe one has a rock on his chest and one is starting to play the devil's advocate, but it's not. It's just how things are done in saner climes.
Transparency.
I mean, transparency. If Donald Trump's son turns a year older, I don't think it would behove on the Navy to put out a big post and a banner and say,
For him.
Donald Trump's son, we're celebrating you, and so on and so forth. I'm sure the people of America would say, excuse me, and they will be sued. Sadly, our judicial system doesn't work here. I mean, I beg to be corrected, because if it does, I'm one of those who believe that it can work. But because of certain problems that we face, especially issues of not enabling the system to work, it becomes a problem, a far cry. And that's why we're talking about it. Because normally, once you think, Binga's highlighted it, this is not a personal company. It is not a personal business. Like banks, to mention the banks.
It's a government agency.
Yes, you're serving all Nigerians.
You are serving Nigeria.
And the resources belong to all of us.
You understand? You're serving Nigeria. Let's break it down. Maybe they should understand better. This is not ABC Bank. ABC Bank can wish the CEO a happy birthday and put it in front of the newspapers and say, our CEO, our chairman. Even some bank chairmen don't want it anymore. If you check recently, they say, no, don't do that. The Stanbic chairman says, no, you hardly would you see his pictures except close friends or associates or fellows of the banking industry. Let's leave that aside. Now, this is an agency that has been created to serve Nigerians. It is not a personal business.
And
so
it's not a party
business. It is not. So what you've done with putting out that post now, as Nimsi, you've shown that, listen, it doesn't matter. We are all one. Let's work together. Even though we serve Nigerians, we belong to this particular. It doesn't speak.
It's actually, yes. Yeah. Now that we know, it is important that citizens' action is, and that's why 2026 is going to be a defining period for Nigeria, a defining year where you and I will pay the tax and you will get angry at the misuse of our public fund. Our anger is not enough. So right now, we still think that it's not the exact money from my pocket. But when you start paying taxes and you see government officials misuse it like this,
from January 1,
people will begin to react differently. And the stare of people will make the public official very uncomfortable. For Nimsi, they went too far and they have made a mistake.
And they should also read the room.
They should have even done it by the MD, the head of the organization himself, using his own funds, not Nimsi's fund. If you want to appreciate the president's son or celebrate his birthday, you don't use public funds to do that.
And they should also take note, read the room across the world. What's happening in Madagascar, Nepal, Kenya, and youth.
Yeah, because all these things will be documented.
Nigeria is a wonderful country.
All these things will be documented.
As the first lady of a state, you know, doing a video with the latest, I mean, it just shows you can have so much money and still be very poor mentally. Showing a video of the latest iPhone. And your state...
Which country is this?
Nigeria. First lady of a state. And your state ranks really poorly in Human Development Index. It's just...
Well, you know, poverty is a problem on its own, because when we say we are poor, even the rich within a poor country are also poor mentally.
Mr. Akatugba, I'm sure that for some of our viewers, will be wondering why are they, I mean, obviously there will be difference in opinion. People will like, why are they talking? But the major problem is sometimes we as journalists, especially, let's use breakfast for instance, when we put these stories together to bring it on air like this, and we're doing our research, check to confirm and so on. When we see all these things, we, as humans, we ask ourselves, what's going on? Is this? So viewers need to understand too that we also, while putting the stories together, we ask questions and wonder, is this how it's supposed to be? What's going on? And so on and so forth. Anyway, let's quickly wrap up the papers. We have barely 3 minutes to go.
One, and it's happening today.
Yeah.
Mba opens another gale of governor's defections to the APC. Today, he will officially switch from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. What are the implications of this in Nigeria's democracy? Does this automatically translate to votes?
In fact, it's quite a domineering development. It shows, it gives an impression of dominance of the APC and complete capture of Southeast. That's the impression it gives. But it will not translate to votes.
But you see,
it is because...
So why are they doing this?
That is what I'm telling you. In politics, you must give people, you must see, when you see a crowd, when you see campaigns look crowded, people are bursting in to see that the place was full. It intimidates the opposition. It intimidates them to withdraw, to scare them off action, because they can say that, look, they've taken the place. You understand? So that is policy. But you see, I hope, I said before that it will not. Let me rephrase again. It's a difficult region for the APC. It has been too difficult. The president couldn't even get 25% the last time. Though he will get a bit more, but if Peter Obi is in the race, it's a regional struggle to get Obi to office.
Is it not a given that Mr. Peter Obi will be in the race? Why do you use the conditional?
Because Peter Obi has not been able to define his platform.
Yeah.
Platforms have been shifting away from him. I can't find him in Labour Party. PDP is depleting every day. Today again, so where is this? What are the political?
The ADC, the former
the
vice president.
The former vice president held it down.
Wow. There's no space.
No space now.
Everywhere is fully booked.
Except it's going to another party that is fresh. Then we'll see how it will go.
You know, I said it here. I said it here 3 months ago, and the video is still online there. You can check it here on this program. And I was attacked by viewers that, what is he saying? Tell him to shut up. This guy is talking rubbish. And I said it here. You just reacted to the same thing. 3 months ago, I said, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi is going up and down. Nobody understands. There's no clarity as to where. And then some of the comments said, must you know where it's going to? We'll shock you, keep quiet. And I said, it's fine. Because if by this time, I can categorically state with what I know, I stand to be corrected, that there seems to be no clarity as to where he is going to stand. Is he going to go back to Labour Party? Labour Party, we know, has been fraught with a lot of challenges, disunity, and
He's
so
holding
on.
his cards close to his chest.
To who? For who?
He has a joker.
Okay. The thing about it is, when it comes to followership, a leader leads, so people know, okay, this is where he's going to. But a leader cannot stay at the back and say, I'm coming.
You say time is going. They're talking about elections in November. November 2026 or March 2026.
The only joker that is...
We have time, bro.
The only joker that is meaningful for him is actually ADC. That is where if he doesn't show up in ADC, he would have made it's going to be
he will go back.
Political
he will go back to the
calculation. Why? His people, his governorship candidate in Lagos has moved to the ADC and openly declared for it.
Yes, so he will go back to the PDP.
So when your people have moved to the ADC and openly declared for it, and Okonkwo, who was his spokesperson, has moved to the ADC and openly supported that. It's a tough.
Okay, how about the Labour Party? You know,
Labour Party has been taken away. He has lost it. Where he should have held it down, he got sentimental with Alex Osti's description by Abure that Alex said, as a leader, you don't get sentimental. You hold down the parties and ensure you resolve. Right now, Abure and Wiki are working together. Where is it going to go now?
We'll have you back on a special, because this period, we're going to have a lot of specials as we count down. Thanks so much for joining us on Breakfast Central on a Tuesday morning. My name is Joe Hansen.
And I'm Benga Borough. See you tomorrow. Olive will be back with us.
Yes, most definitely. Take care. Have a great day.